Welcome once again to the OpEdia podcast led by myself, solomonokukuwafua. Thank you once again to being a part of this podcast. To all the regulars who have subscribed to this channel from the get-go, either through YouTube or through social media or through the podcast platforms, thank you so much. I know the community is growing by time, and I know that slow and steady wins the race, as the famous proverb says. So thank you so much. What we do in this podcast is the home of personal opinion on news stories that have caught my eye, but not using it to keep it for myself, but to share it along with you, to be able to be inspired, to be motivated, or to be enlightened on how these news stories have been shaping the world at your at that time, and use it to give your own opinions of the same. So thank you so much to everybody that has been there from day one. Those are the regulars. And for those who are the newbies, the newcomers, the first timers, new kids on the block, first time guests on this podcast at whatever platform you're using, I want to let you know that for the next 30 minutes, it is not worth a waste of time, because this is something that's going to bless you. This is something that will make you, that will get you inspired, get you motivated, get you, have a better perspective on life. And you never know, maybe this message could save you, could save your family, could save your community, could save the nation and the world over. So thank you so much to all the newcomers. And of course, without any further ado, of course, if you are wondering why does the word exist, the word called OpEdia, of course, this is a portmanteau of two phrases. Of course, one being oped, which you all know, it stands for opinion editorials, which is of course a piece where somebody writes their own opinion on the news story that caught their attention, where it's seen on the newspapers. You find that at times in the middle of it, or at the first few pages of the newspaper. So I got that, and then you take from the suffix ia from the word Wikipedia. Of course, Wikipedia is the largest catalog of articles to do with people, places, events, and things. So if you combine those two phrases together, you get OpEdia. Now, OpEdia is spelled capital O, small p, capital E, small d, then IA, and then you put it as one word. That is the birth of the word OpEdia. And of course, a podcast will always be a podcast. Podcast is can be done as an audio or as a video, like the one I'm doing right now. So if you combine those two, that's how it came to be. So thank you once again for staying tuned to all the regulars. And for the first timers, this is not a waste of your time, because it's something that will change your perspective. And of course, today being the first day of the new month of March, I hope you had a wonderful February. Of course, February is known for being the month of love. But of course, love is not a once in a while thing. This is something that should be done daily, because love should be spread all over the world and all over the community that are surrounded by. And of course, love is the greatest thing of all. Out of all the things that is considered to be character traits. So love, of course, was mostly known in the month of February. And of course, in the month of March, I pray that the Lord will take you through it, no matter what you're going through. And even as I share this message through this podcast, I hope you're going to be blessed, you're going to be inspired, you're going to be motivated, and you're going to be enlightened on how you should take life as it is. So that's it. That's the introduction, that's the description. And of course, today is going to be a very special one. And of course, today I'm going to title this episode My Tribute to Nightbirde. Nightbirde with an E. Now, where does the word Nightbirde come from? Now, of course, Nightbirde passed on a few weeks ago in mid-February last month of cancer. Of course, this is a female singer, well known for being a part of America's Got Talent last year, only to withdraw due to worsening health. And of course, I'm talking about season 16, led by the judges Simon Cowell, who is of course the founder of the Got Talent brand, which is of course is a brand full of talent shows from different regions of the world, especially the one in East Africa, one in Brazil, one in Asia, another one in Australia, and even one in his home country of the UK, and of course America and the like. So him being one of the judges. Of course, you have Sofia Vergara, you have Howie Mandel, and then you have Heidi Klum, all of them being the big four judges. And then you have the host Terry Crews, who was there at that time, being the host of America's Got Talent season 16. And even as they were doing the auditions, as it was kicking off the new season 16, which was last year, Nightbirde, Harilem being Jane Maziowski from Ohio. Wow, you guys have not watched it, go and check it out on YouTube. I've watched it time and time again, and wow, what an inspiration. And even just before she joined the America's Got Talent, let me give you a brief history of her. Now, of course, like I said, she's a singer, she's a millennial just like myself, and I'm sure for most of you are watching or listening to me, are also part of that generation called the millennials. And of course, this is a young woman who has been battling with cancer even way before she came into America's Got Talent. And this is a woman that was diagnosed with breast cancer for the first time in 2017. Then a year after, she won it by being cancer free. And then 2019, a year after, she was diagnosed again, second time, but she fought through it, won it the second time. That was in 2020. And then 2021, it got worse, only for doctors to tell her that she has 2% chance of survival. 2% chance of survival. So I believe that was like, getting worse. I don't want to speak negative about it because, rest in peace to Nightbirde. She was such an inspiration. And even as I was watching it through the different social media, even watching her last videos on Instagram, watching the Golden Buzzer moment on Facebook, and really sad that she spent the final 2% of her life as declared by the doctors. Sharing her songs to the masses, and through the America's Got Talent, that was one of the ways she used it, to share her final moments of her life. And she fought it hard, and what a blessing she has been to, not just to the world, but to Simon Cowell personally, because he's the one who pressed the golden buzzer for her to go all the way to the finals, but only for her to withdraw along the way due to the worsening health. So that's a bit of background for the Nightbirde. And for those of you watching America's Got Talent, should check it out. Go to her YouTube channel. I believe there's a catalog of songs she has released, and even to a point that she has been updating her followers on Instagram mostly, about what's happening in our music world, that it has been heard of by many American radio stations, and to the point that it's even being put on the charts for iTunes. You can even see it on Billboard. And now that she's no longer with us in this world, that's a big loss. And for someone like Simon Cowell, he got emotional even during that time that Nightbirde was in America's Got Talent, when she sang her piece called It's Okay. And even if you go to her social media where she's wearing the sweatshirt with the song title It's Okay, it's just, she used that as inspiration to make her go to overcome that battle, which is called cancer. And unfortunately, only for her to succumb to it a few weeks back, and the whole world was in a loss. And for her to really lose her life at a very young age of 31, she just turned 31 few months ago. That was in December, late December. And now this, I'm sure most of you who are fans of America's Got Talent, or who are fans of Nightbirde with an E, would love to send message of condolences to her family, because I'm sure through her quotes, through her songs, she has really saved many lives. She has inspired many, especially the millennials, and what a life she has lived. And that brings me to a number of quotes, and I'm going to just read one of them, extracting it and just sharing it with you. Of course, one of them being, according to us, saying that life is sad and it's okay for you to be sad, because it gets on my nerves when people tell me to be happy and I'm not happy. You can be happy and sad at the same time. So this is just one of the quotes that she was sharing during one of her last videos she posted on Instagram, and she's just trying to tell the world that cancer has been her long time battle and it has not been easy for her, but she's letting the world know that it's okay to not be okay. As I shorten that whole statement, that at times you need to be human, you need to be real. We are not robots, we are not uh, people with no feelings or with no other side of it in terms of the internal life inside you. And Jane just blessed people through the quotes, even though she had little time left here on earth, but she could just give it her all, share everything that that could possibly be helpful to humanity, because despite that battle that she has been fighting time and time again, cancer recurring every now and then, and every time she could go through chemotherapy, every time she could tell people to donate towards her cause. I mean, she still could find a way of inspiring people through her words, and that's why I've always told people through the words of Solomon podcast that what you say is powerful, just like the Bible saying that death and life are in the power of the tongue, but the Lord will always advise us to choose life. So what does that mean? You say the right thing, say things which are worth wisdom, say things which are worth changing people's lives, because you never know, even if you are to pass away right now, but what you've said before then could have saved someone's life, could have made someone not go through that trial alone, because maybe somebody is there along with them to be able to carry through that season. So Nightbirde was that type of person. She was down to earth, she was real, she was human. She could not pretend that I'm not okay. And you've seen it even if you go to her social media handles, especially Instagram. She chronicles, or she details her daily life fighting cancer every now and then. I mean, you imagine being told you only have 2% chance of survival. It's like saying you've used up 98% of your life, and because cancer has been eating you so hard, so much, that you only have 2%. Now 2% could be in form of few weeks, few months, few days, who knows. But I'm not God, who am I to judge that timetable? Only God can heal, but at times it could be God's will to allow that person to go. So it's really sad that she had to be the Lord, but I know that she's okay right now, just as the song title says, and I know that she's singing in heaven right now with all the others who have passed on way back even before her due to cancer at a very young age. So Nightbirde, thank you for sharing the world with your quotes, with your songs. Even though I've never met you, even though I've never watched you closely, but from what I've seen, from what I've witnessed through social media, what a blessing. And that's all I can say. If I was to say a message of condolences right now, I'll just say this: thank you so much for showing your real self. Thank you so much for blessing young people. Thank you so much for spending those final moments of your life in such a unique way, whether it's through appearing on America's Got Talent, which of course you love singing, and even through the interviews with different news media, talking about how to deal with certain battles in life and just inspiring people. Thank you so much. And to the Nightbirde's family, I pray for divine comfort, divine strength, and divine peace as you go through this time period, because it's not just your loss, but the loss to the America's Got Talent family. It is a loss to the millennials. It is a loss to the whole world as a whole, because she is really a blessing, and even to the point that she lost a lot of weight, that she even measured herself as 85 pounds. I mean, it's just saddening, and there's nothing else to add on. Just want to send my message of condolences through this podcast, and I know that even though you're not going to watch it or listen to it, but I know that as you listen to this, as you watch it, you're going to be inspired, you're going to be encouraged to see the brighter side, because Nightbirde was such a person who could see the light even though there was darkness. Her darkness was cancer, but she always sees light. The Lord will always encourage her that see the light at the end of the tunnel, no matter how long the darkness period will be, no matter how big the darkness is. The Lord will, I'm sure the Lord must have encouraged her that always see the light, always see the light. And I just want to use that to encourage the family of the late Nightbirde that you're not alone in this battle. The Lord is with you. Be encouraged. Nightbirde is at a safe place right now. She's in the hands of God, with all the angels at the Lord's disposal, and she's going to sing all the way at the top of her tongue. And I'm sure that song, It's Okay, will soon go on top of whatever music chart possible. Either it is Billboard, either it is iTunes, either it is Spotify, either it is Amazon Music, whatever it is. I know wherever Nightbirde is right now, she is watching over you as her family members, and I know that right now she's at peace. She has fought a fight. She beat cancer twice, but only for the Lord to do his will, and she had to let go of this world. And I know that even us will have our own expiry dates. The Lord knows when we will die. The Lord knows when we're going to meet him again. And the only way that we'll spend our lives well or worth meaning is to live every day like it's your last. And this is to everybody. And I'm going to use another quote, which of course she said it on America's Got Talent, and I even saved it as a wallpaper. And it says, you can't wait until life isn't hard anymore before you decide to be happy. This is Nightbirde saying it herself with her own lips during America's Got Talent. Now, that shocked everybody, even with the 2% chance of survival. But she spent it well. Now, that has challenged many of us who are watching or listening to me right now. What are you doing with your life? What are you doing with the little time left? What are you doing with your destiny? Are you using it to bless lives? Are you using it to change the world? Are you using it to prevent people from doing bad things? Because those are the little things that the Lord will account you for. We don't want to end up where the Lord will now count every bloodshed that is on your hand. But I pray that you're not such people, in Jesus' name. But anyway, speaking of that quote, you can't wait until life isn't hard anymore before you decide to be happy. Now, what is Nightbirde telling us right here and right now is that life will always be hard. Life can never be fair. Life can never be easy. But how you spend your life right now will decide whether you're going to be happy or not. And that's what she's telling us through that quote where she was on America's Got Talent. Now, that got people in shock. Even as she sang her song, It's Okay, Simon Cowell could not hold back because it touched him. And that is how he got the golden buzzer. Like I said again, if you want to get the source, go to YouTube, watch it again. Go to our social media, you can watch it again. Or you go to AGT's social media handles or YouTube channel, watch it again, because it is going to inspire you. And even as I was going through the lyrics some time back, it's so inspiring. It's basically like telling people in my own review Never give up. There'll always be light at the end of the tunnel. No matter the darkness, no matter how big your trials are, that song is basically telling you, just focus on what's ahead of you. Just focus on the light. Focus on the light. Focus on God. And you'll see yourself coming out of that darkness. And I'm sure through our songs, even if you go to our YouTube channel, it is going to bless you. And I know that at times it's okay to not be okay, but at the same time you need people around you who are going to tell you, well done, thank you for opening up, thank you for sharing your experiences, because even just by opening up could save you, because the other person on the other side could advise you on how to move on, could advise you on how to heal yourself, could advise you on, have a better perspective on how to handle life. And that's what Nightbirde has been doing all throughout her life, even with her battle with breast cancer that got worse with year after year, only to lose her life 2 or so weeks ago. But she used that little time left, the 2% chance of survival, to use her God-given talent, and that was singing. Now, my question to you is, what are you doing in your life? Are you waiting for life to be easy is when you decide to be happy? Or are you going to spend your time right now to make your life easy by making wise decisions, by doing the right things at the right time, by speaking the right things, by walking by faith and not by sight? Because those are the little actions the Lord will account you for. Remember, what you do now will determine your tomorrow, not your past. What you do now. And that is what Nightbirde is telling us here. Don't wait for life to be easy is when you decide to be happy, because life can never be easy. Life can never be free of problems, free of stress. Life will always give you stones, and when stones are being thrown at you, just as the Bible says, make it a cornerstone. Hallelujah. If people throw lemons at you, what do you do with it? Make lemonade. If people throw you apples and it's bad, rotten, or whatever it is, what do you do with it? Make apple juice. And I know that the Lord is waiting on you to make a difference in somebody's life through your words, through your songs, through your talents, through whatever it is that the Lord has implanted inside you. Use it. Don't wait for life to be easy. Life can never be easy. Use what you have right now to bless somebody else. It's not about you, it's about the other person. And just as I conclude shortly, even as you watch those highlights at your own time, Nightbirde was just carefree. Like she was just positive, She took everything positive. And I'm sure since then, even if she didn't participate in the final, she was still a part of it. Of course, she took part of the result show later on in season 16 of America's Got Talent, and Simon Cowell was once again having a conversation with her, knowing that she'll not take further part in the competition. But I'm sure she understood what Simon told her, and he really she thanked him for understanding her, and at the same time thanking all her fans who have been with her throughout her journey, her battle with cancer, either personally or through the social media that she uses. And I'm sure now that she's with the Lord, she is at perfect eternal peace. And just want to say that rest in peace, Nightbirde. Rest in peace, Jane Magzuski. you indeed lived your life. 31 years. You see, people forget that the longer you live, so you know, some think that the longer you live, the bigger the impact, but that's mistaken. It's how you spend in that short time here on earth that is going to be considered legacy. That's why I always tell myself every now and then, every single day, that your legacy will be determined by how much input you've put in your generation and the generations after with the little time you had on earth. Because even if you are dead right now, the amount of impact you did during that short time that is now being remembered years after that will always be greater than the number of years you lived on earth. So let's say, for example, God forbid, you've lived for 25 years, but during those 25 years you have done a lot that has blessed generations, and even 25 years or so later, people still remember you for what you've done during those 25 years here on earth. Now that is considered legacy. Legacy is all about what you're doing right now, so that your tomorrow you can be remembered, even if you are dead right now. Legacy is measured by the amount of impact during your time on earth, and the more years that people will remember you for that little time on earth, then that is considered legacy. That is considered impact. It doesn't matter how many years you lived here on earth, but if you have used it for the good, if you have used it to change lives, if you have used it to change perspectives on how life should be taken, then that is considered legacy. So just want to use this episode to share my own tribute to Nightbirde, and rest in peace. I know she's in God's hands. I know that the Lord is keeping us safe, and for her family, I know that the Lord is going to keep them safe even as they go through this trial period. And to those of you who think that your life is not worth meaningful, is not worth the purpose, just know that the Lord is with you. Don't give up now. Don't give up now. Talk to somebody. Don't think suicidal. Yes, you may go through panic attacks, but at least open up to somebody, because you never know. Somebody could change you, could change your perspective. It's okay to not be okay, but at the same time, open up. Open up as soon as possible, because you need to be known. Your words are needed. Your actions are needed for the next generation. So please, spend your life wisely, because you never know when your last day will be. And I'll leave it once again with a quote. You can't wait until life isn't hard anymore before you decide to be happy. So do something with your life right now. Don't wait for your life to be easy is when you become happy. Do something right now, even through your trials and tribulations, and change your perspective, change your habits, and do something positive with the talent, with the gifts that God has for you. And you never know, your legacy will be known through that moment. So thank you so much to everybody watching or listening to me right now from wherever you are around the world. This is a special episode. This is my tribute to Nightbirde, and may our soul rest in the eternal peace of the Almighty God, as she's going to be laid down 6 feet under as whatever date to be announced. But other than that, that's it. To those of you who are watching me, listening to me right now for the first time, if you're watching it on YouTube, first of all, click the bell button, click the subscribe button, so that you can get notified on what's coming up next. And to the regulars, you know what to do. Continue to comment, share your perspective, share your views on whatever platform it is, either it is on YouTube, either it is on social media, either it is through the podcast platforms, because I need your feedback and to hear from you. This is all about you, it's not about me. It's to make sure that you guys get something to talk about and share it with your loved ones. And of course, we get to grow the community. By the way, invite others to like this page, to like this podcast, to like this channel on YouTube and every other platform possible, which I'm going to put it by the time this episode is done, so that you can get more of the same. But other than that, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching this episode. And until the next one, have a blessed match, and that's it.